Happy Monday, everyone. I am excited as always to see all of you on this Monday. You will be excited about meeting with Shamar, who's going to show us about his new character for his book, and we'll be able to do a little draw along, kind of a confidence building drawing to see some collage work. So thank you for joining us. Friendly reminder, all of our Instagram live chats are saved to IGTV, so you can watch them at a later date and check them out a little bit later. They're usually pretty quick, about 30 minutes, and we'd also love to see your creations. So if you draw along with us or create collage along with us or anything else that you've done along the way, feel free to share those in your post and then tag at The Art of Ed as well as our guest for the day, which will be Shamar Knight-Justice. And also use our hashtag if that makes it a little easier, hashtag AOEU Live. So we are going to get Shamar right in here in a second, and he'll be joining us to show us about his new book character. But he has a really cool background because he is a principal, not an art educator. So I love that that mindset a little bit, that background. So we're gonna get Shamar in here. Let me quick search and find him. All right, friends. Here we go. This is like really exciting on y'all's end, I know. Bam. Get him in here. For those of you that are just joining us now, I'm Sarah Krajewski, your host for Instagram Live. Make art with me time. Yo, Shamar, hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. Can't complain. It's a beautiful day.
That's great.
Doing really well in Atlanta.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. Now, I was just telling everybody that you are a school principal, which is kind of a unique perspective. So can you give everybody just a little insight into who you are as a human first before we get into some art making?
Yep. So good evening, everybody. My name is Shamar Knight-Justice. I'm an educator by trade, but I'm illustrator by early mornings and by night. I'm the principal of an elementary school located in Southwest Atlanta called Ethos Classical, where we have the privilege of being able to teach some of the most wonderful scholars in the world. We're an elementary school, so we're K through third grade right now. We were founded 4 years ago, and I have the fantastic role of principal to be able to support their education, support teachers, and make sure that they're getting the level of education that they deserve.
I love it. Sounds like you really love your job, and I know there's a lot that goes into being an administrator that's just a lot different than being specifically in the classroom every day. So I appreciate your perspective for sure. Yeah. But on the side, I don't know if we would call it on the side, but like artist, illustrator as well.
Artist, illustrator.
Can't get enough. Your work is beautiful. I absolutely love your style and have been following your art journey for a while. I've kind of known you through a connection with seeing REJ's Kinky Curly Crown and like some other collaborations you've done in the past, but you have another book coming out. Can you give us a little brief insight into that first?
Yep. So this is Big Tune, Rise of the Dance Hall Prince, written by Aaliyah. She's a fantastic writer. It's such a rhythmic and exciting book that really follows the journey of a young Jamaican-American boy growing up in the 90s in Brooklyn, New York. He's saving up money to be able to buy a new pair of shoes so he can really show his dance moves at a bashment that his family is throwing, but ends up having to make some changes and some pivots on the way. When I look at this character, I just see so much excitement and joy. Lee did a wonderful job really capturing the joyful and the playfulness of this character. And I had the privilege of really just bring the character to life. So be on the lookout for that coming out in March 2023. Really excited for that to be released. And you can see more on both of our stories about just when the release is happening and where to find it.
That's super exciting. Yes, getting like the book cover launched and kind of getting like the hype for it, the excitement for it is when it starts to feel even more real, because you've obviously been collaborating on the illustration, but now it sort of feels like, oh, this is actually happening. It's going to be here. It's going to be in people's hands. So super excited about that. And again, any guests that we have along the way, absolutely would advocate towards following them, including Shamar, because he has so many amazing pieces. Like you've done some other just like daily prompts and stuff too that have been amazing. Those digital drawings and other things you work on are really fun to watch. So we are going to draw Shane, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We're going to draw Shane. I've done some different posts of him. So I'm gonna give you just a snippet of what Shane looks like, and then I'm gonna go through kind of like a loose, rough step-by-step of how to draw him. It's really just, putting your own flair on it, putting your own style on it. Don't feel like you have to do it exactly the way that it's drawn here. But it's just us having fun and just bringing him to houses everywhere.
I love it. I love it. It's fun to have like a character that you can kind of recognize and get excited about, because that just makes it feel like the story's a little bit more alive.
Yeah.
So, okay, I think let's start some art making. I usually just kind of downturn like this. If you can just flip us around a little bit.
Yeah, let me get it set up.
Yep.
Hold on, I'm gonna go off camera for a second so I can get it right.
Beautiful.
Oh, let me flip me so.
Got my Monday set up. Can you tell us what materials we'll need today too, Shamar?
Yeah, so materials, can you see it okay?
Yes, that looks perfect.
All right. So different materials we're going to use some colored pencils. I would also grab a pair of scissors, because we're going to sketch first, and then after the sketch, we're going to just have fun with them with some different scrap paper materials. So I have some different materials here. If you know anything about me, I'm slightly a paper hoarder. So anytime I see like cool textures or just old magazines, music sheets, those are always great pieces for texture. And you could even see with Shane, a piece of his outfit is just kind of like a mix up of textures, as far as the music note on his shirt, and then his pants. It's the short shorts. The book takes place in the 90s, so he does have some geometric flair there.
I love it.
We're going to draw Shane today. It's not going to be this exact pose, but I did want to just note, like, okay, this is Shane if people haven't seen him. And then we're going to kind of go step by step into how I create this character.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm super psyched to see your process.
All right, so we're going to start with just a blank piece of paper first. So we're going to do a sketch, and then from the sketch, that's just going to give us a blueprint of just how to be able to put together the mixed media portion of it. The mixed media portion of it will mainly be the collage for his outfit, and then I'll use the color pencils for his hair and for his skin, and to do some more of the details.
Awesome. Okay.
All right. So to kind of help me with, and let me make sure I can see. Yeah, you can see me. To get the proportions right, I took a piece of paper and I folded it in half. The interesting thing about Shane is he has a really big head, right? By design. That's like part of his character appeal.
Yeah.
And when drawing him, you're going to saw me draw a lot of C's. All right. So C's and squares and rectangles are going to be able to set you up for success. So
awesome.
From this half line, I'm going to draw a C shape like this. That's going to be his like bottom chin and cheek area.
Beautiful.
I'm then going to draw C's for his ears.
Love. I'm like, yes, I'm here for this.
The next thing we're going to do is smile, and then we're going to do his lips as well. So another C for his smile. You see it's pretty wide here too.
Yeah.
See that he's real joyful.
He's happy. He's psyched.
And then we're going to do his lips, which is a C on the top and a C on the bottom. All right. So you got the C for the chin, the C for both ears, a C for a smile, and the C for the top lip and the lower lip.
Love
right? For the nose, he actually has a round nose. It could be, it's like medium, and then rounded nostrils. So I'll put the nose rounded top part right above his lips, and then I'll do the bottom part there. And then we'll do two little C's for his nostrils.
I might have missed part. Maybe not.
All right. And then for his eyes, sometimes I draw them open, sometimes I have them closed. In this picture, his eyes are closed because he's like really getting the dance move. We're gonna put him in a light dance move, so he'll be getting warmed up. So we're gonna close his eyes. His eyes are gonna go right to the left and right of his nostrils, pretty much. They're pretty low.
Okay. And they're kind of like ovals. I know it's like your character style is pretty nice and simple, but yet dynamic in the way that it has a lot of expression in it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. The next thing is going to be the ear. So the ear details, like the inner ear, I do these. It's still a curved motion, but you're able to capture like that earlobe, give a little detail that you know those are ears.
I
Okay.
love it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Perfect.
now the more complicated part of this is his top fro. All right. So he has his like asymmetrical Gumby fro. That was the style in the 90s.
Yeah, yeah.
Very spikily, do the right thing. To get it right first though, you have to like put these diagonal lines for his forehead, and then it's like
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of a slight part because you'll see some of like his part go through, and then you start to get his fro going.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like that's like you could picture his silhouette anywhere.
Yeah, this is his trademark.
It's his
Trademark,
trademark here. I
trademark.
love
And then from here, I just shade it in, right? And we'll be able to go back and do it again. This is our first time drawing him. We're gonna draw him
it. Yeah.
twice.
Cool.
So for the hair, we're just shading him in.
Can I ask where you get your inspiration when you start drawing characters? Where do you typically pull from?
I pull from like a lot of pop culture, so I'm thinking about just like what really resonates with people online, in music, in style. So I'm looking at different fashion sites and I'm using that as references. For him, his reference is directly from the movie Do the Right Thing. So you'll see
Mm-hmm.
a lot of his vibes and the makeup of the book captures some of that essence when it comes to the scenery, the outfit styles, very like 90s-esque. Um,
Nice.
and then kind of just like that joyful kid nature of it too with the bright colors um, is really that inspiration for his character. But I
Awesome.
really just like things that move a lot, that just have a lot of personality. uh, this next part is just giving him a little bit of a neck. We'll come back to that.
Can do.
All right, and then we're going to start really boxy for his outfit. So his outfit is like this jersey.
Yeah, yeah.
um, you're going to start with a straight line, and then it's a quadrilateral, but it gets wider at the bottom.
You look at you using those fancy shape.
Yeah. Oh no, you know, I gotta know my geometry skills when it comes
I
to.
love it. I'm like a roundish rectangle
Yeah.
with a yeah.
And then for his jersey, the middle of it comes down like that, and then you'll see the outside pieces of it. I don't know the exact language of the jersey for that, but this is pretty much his body.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. We'll have his arms just out, so we'll do 2 rectangles for his sleeves.
Beautiful.
And then for his shorts, all right, it's like the shorts, so you don't have to have a ton of the shorts showing, but those are going to be 2 rectangles underneath him as well.
Perfect. Are you having him just standing up straight or like busting a move?
Yeah, he's gonna have a knee. His right knee is gonna be bended a little bit, and his left knee is gonna be straight.
Okay, cool. That I can do. I mean, y'all can pick up your own patterns if you're breaking it down with us today.
Yeah. All right. The next thing I'm gonna do is do his like a little bit of his thigh, and then another signature part of him is like he has like knock knees, so they're like very round knees that stick out.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do a little bit of his thigh coming out, and the knees is gonna be round.
Nice.
And then next, we're going to bring it down to the calf. And we'll cut it off there. He has high socks.
He would be like very in right now. 90s is super in.
Yeah, like all these styles really repeat themselves. They come back.
Yeah, yeah.
And then for his shoes, we're not going to, the shoes that you've seen him in are the shoes that he starts the book in and he spends most of his time in. So they're not the shoes that he wants. They're not his dream shoes, which are like the Reebok pumps. These are his shoes that he's worn out a little bit.
Okay.
From all the dance practice.
Got
And
kind
then,
of like a half circle situation.
yeah, another half circle, and you'll see there's a lot of rounded. The roundedness gives it that feeling of just being more dynamic and that it's moving. So you see the curved lines for his shoes.
I like too how like all of the imagery that you see of Shane, he is really dynamic. It's hard for kids in particular to kind of notice or draw something in motion, and I love too how easy it looks when you look at his character. It's very active.
And then for his shoelaces, his shoes are always untied. They're always untied. The laces are just floating around everywhere. So I like to just give him a little bit of a loop.
Was that you growing up, Shamar?
I always. My parents had to put Velcro shoes on me in kindergarten because I would just never tie them. I was always the kid in kindergarten that one just had like the ripped pants because I would slide on the carpet all the time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then always had shoes untied. They were always really dingy because I was stepping on them. I really believed in play shoes, so just like being active in my shoes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then let me do his arms. So the arm, we're just gonna extend it out. It's gonna get a little skinnier at the wrist.
Do you typically draw digitally or like pencil and paper?
I do pencil and paper when I start off because it keeps me looser.
Sure, sure.
Or like when I start doing things digital, if it's almost taking me to the step of being more final.
Yeah, yeah.
So I start on paper to just do some rough like character design. All right, and y'all don't worry about hands. Hands are the worst thing to draw ever.
Mine's like Shane's very zombie in this. He's like, we're just gonna let that go.
Yeah. So this is Shane.
Sweet. Okay, I love it. How do you want to get us started on some color? Because he's a super amazing character, even though regardless of the zombiness.
So the next piece with the color is just doing his outfit. So take a piece of one of your scrap paper, one of your collage pieces, and you can mix and match. It doesn't have to be exactly what he is. I will do the music note just so I can stay with them, but feel free to use anything that you have. You can use the backs of paper, anything that can give you some cool texture or a print. Or you can start to just color him in with the yellow at the top and then draw it in the music notes. But I'm gonna actually use a piece of paper. And then because we kept him pretty rectangle at the top, it's gonna make it easiest for us to do the mixed media part. So we don't have to round everything out. So I'm gonna start with this big shape here, and I'm gonna create that on my paper. And I'm actually gonna draw an outline of it first.
I mean, that's smart with the tracing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
my brain was like, start cutting.
Yeah. So it's like the easiest part is just to flip it on the back. And then I want to make sure my lines are the right way. And then all I'm doing is doing the same shape. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight because the scissors will help you out.
Right.
And then just cut that out. And then I'm going to end up coloring this paper yellow to match his outfit.
I also kind of love the drawn details in comparison to the paper collage too. Like that's sort of what he has an element of in his actual character design too. It's like this combination of collage-esque looking design, but also these drawn pieces. It's a really cool style.
Thank you. Yeah, and you'll see that throughout the book as well. Just a lot of mixed, like a lot of moments of collage and then drawing. I feel like it just adds interest.
How do you feel like are you going to do collage shirt and shorts, Shamar?
Yes.
Okay. I got to keep up.
I'm gonna pick a different pattern for the shorts.
Okay, cool.
All right. And then don't feel like you have to have your cutouts perfect. It kind of like adds to the flair
Right. The
if
fact
they're
that
a
it's like
little
kind
uneven.
of, they're sort of doing their own thing. They're like,
Yeah.
they're not exactly perfect.
Yeah. Like, and even when you look at my, like the illustration, like it is not perfect by design. Like it's made to have a little, you know, some a little bit of asymmetricalness. I made that up, but to be able to give it some character.
I love it. I love it. Well, he's got to dance. He's got to move, you know?
Yeah.
How do you feel like your students at your school are going to react to your new book? It's like, do they know about your other one?
Yeah, they do. So when REJ came out, they definitely showed me a ton of love. I felt like a mini celebrity at first because
Yes.
they were coming up to me. Someone asked for my autograph. It was a little weird at first, but it's a ton of fun. And I think the biggest piece is just being able to see kids be able to see that anybody can do this. I'm like the person you literally see every single day for hours, you know, telling you to make sure you're showing your work on your paper.
Yeah.
So it's like if I can do it and you know have my art be in a book, you 100% can do the same thing.
I mean, if you're not modeling artistic behavior, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Like how cool it is to be able to be such an advocate for that creative side as well for all your students to see.
And then we, in general, even before I started going in a professional route with my art, we already pushed a really heavy art theme at the school. Like we want all scholars to see themselves as artists, all of them to understand that being creative is important, and really dive into the humanities. We sometimes call ourselves like a small liberal art school, just based on just how much we push art and want scholars to see themselves as artists and see themselves as creative.
That's awesome. How do you feel like that I mean, because that's the kind of school culture that you're cultivating. Like that's something that y'all are really focusing on. Do you feel like it has always been that way, or that took a lot of work to get it to be that type of space?
I think it was both. I think we were intentional on the front end. Shout out to the rest of the leadership team, so our founder Emily Castillo, and then our head of school Danielle Mack also had like a lot of thought on just setting that intentional space for scholars. And what I'm doing now is starting to glue my pieces down.
Yes, perfect.
It was by design, and then to continue to push art, we make sure that our enrichment team feels valued, that they have the space to be creative, that scholars are able to tap into their unique gifts, and then that we always communicate it to families as well. And I think the big piece is just naming that students have gifts before they come to us.
Oh yeah.
Like we're just building on top of what's already been done, all the important work that's been done by their families. So it's just taking it to the next step. It's like taking the next step, giving them the vocabulary, and then giving them the green light to be able to express themselves artistically.
That's beautiful. And I love too, just that reminder that students already come to us with gifts. They already have things that they are successful at, that they know they love, and kind of finding those things and then giving them that ability to flourish with it is really what education is kind of all about.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Your shirt looks so good. I love it. I want to see your entire like paper collection, if I'm being honest. I'll
pull it out. I'm not gonna show you the drawers because I'm a little embarrassed by the state of my drawers right now.
No, it's all good.
Just pull out all the paper that I have right now.
It's like one of those organized mess kind of things where you're like, I could probably find something, but I could definitely not tell somebody where to look.
Yeah, and then so the space I'm in right now is my office. This wasn't always my office. This was where was this room? This was like a second bedroom or a third bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
So we were using it as that space, but then once I started doing more artwork, and I just had so many supplies that my wife was like, these supplies, they have to go somewhere. You have to go somewhere. You have to move them.
That was your plan the whole time, is to give yourself a little more space, right?
Yeah, by design. what I'm gonna start doing now is I'm gonna start coloring my thing. So I'll lay down his outfit, and then I'm gonna start drawing him in underneath, but I'm gonna color my shirt.
So do you have like tracing paper? You're gonna cut that piece out and then lay it on top?
No, I'm just gonna draw underneath of it. So I used this just to get a feel for what I wanted to do. So this is like my sketch before I went into actually doing the mixed media.
Okay,
so that I just had a better plan of it.
I like that. A good plan is where it's at. I'm gonna just color onto my original sketch too, especially since we're kind of like probably got a solid 5-10 here. So I'm gonna just keep going into this one. But I would love to hear your process for how you pick what kinds of materials, or like how your process of actually making the characters comes to be.
Yeah, so it starts really basic. So it's like it's in these types of shapes, and then just playing around with the proportions of it. So with Shane, I knew that he was going to be a younger child. I knew that I wanted him to just be kind of funny, right? And joyful, and not mimic the typical body shape of a regular human being. So I start there, and I just even with Shane, I just drew about 30 different styles of him. And then my wife is my first art director. So she looks at everything before anybody else sees it. She also helps me a ton with colors. I can't remember if we talked about this with REJ, but I'm partially colorblind.
Oh,
so,
I think I do remember that. Yes.
Yeah, so colors are really challenging for me. So that's usually the last thing that I do. And then I just get her like stamp of approval to make sure the color looks right before I do anything with it.
Nice, nice.
Even with me today, like you see my color pencil box, there's like only the colors that I was planning to use are in here.
You're thinking ahead.
Yeah, because if the whole box is in there, even with the names on it, I'm still like, I don't know what this is.
Like, I just couldn't say. I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea. So so I start there, and I just do different designs, and I kind of just figure out, and I look to see which is the most appealing. And then from there, I just keep drawing that character over and over and over again. So once I knew the look of Shane, I just practice his face over and over and over again. I practice his hair. And then I'd put him in different postures and like gestures, just based off gestures I see even in other books. So I might look at another book, and I'll draw Shane in that gesture to see him move like a character that's already been drawn. And then that's just like giving me practice on like, okay, how would I see how this character moves based off their proportions, but how would Shane move?
So it's a lot of like background research and taking from different, content that you're seeing and stuff that you're kind of collecting, because it's never just, well, I have this vision, so I'm going to go for it. But it's like you're sort of cultivating and collecting things that are going to help you when you have to draw something multiple times.
Yeah, exactly. And then like that also helps with being able, I would say again?
I was just saying, like, how many times do you think you've drawn Shane?
I've probably drawn Shane, I don't know. It's been a long time. Maybe 300 times.
Right? I mean, that's what I'm saying is it's like there's so much into his formation. Yeah. It's kind of fun to think about how far he's come.
And then to be able to draw a character consistently throughout the book.
Right.
It's just being able to draw him so many times, and then look at references, look at the proportion to see if it matches from page to page. And sometimes he looks different depending on where, like the tilt of his head and the profile. But getting a look that's consistent can be really challenging.
And that kind of goes to hit home that importance of really using this. If you're working on something that you want to be consistent, is just kind of that practice, doing it over and over and over again. Yeah. It's like modeling that for students and for yourself is super helpful too. All right, I'm gonna just color him in. I want to see your drawn edition. So now are you just going back in with marker, or are you still working with pencil?
I'm still working with pencil. So I'm using the color pencil now to do his skin. So I started with his knees and his thighs.
Okay, that's where I'm at. I mean, he's kind of getting there. I sort of would love if this shirt really existed. That's like a really crazy art shirt.
Yeah, that's really cool. Cool.
I'm gonna give him a couple music notes around him too, I think maybe.
Yeah.
Because this is gonna inspire him to hopefully find his song, find his shoes.
Yep, get his shoes, and then just keep dancing. I think it's just
Right.
continue to dance. And Shane really values practice too. So
I love it.
he one is just always practicing his dance moves. He's getting ready for the bashment. It was kind of like a dance hall party that's, you know, really dark in a basement. It's loud music, and it's just like a wonderful environment. So this is him really getting ready.
That's awesome. He's like going to town. I love it. Okay, I don't want to rush you, Shamar, because I want you to have time to finish this too, but I'm just going to watch for a little bit and give you a couple of questions if that's okay.
Okay, yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, so y'all, here's my Shamar, or not Shamar, here's my Shane. I love it. Sorry, both S names. But I was curious if you could tell us kind of just how your year has been, and if there's anything that you feel like has been something y'all have kept that's been working really well for you.
As far as just like creating, or
I guess just with cultivating that creative outlook at your school, just the things that have been working for you to do that at your school. What are some of those things?
Yeah, so I think it's one, just giving our enrichment team the space to be creative and be the content leaders of their classroom. That's really important. We have an enrichment team. We have a grade level team lead that leads that team and kind of like really pushes them in their creative parts, allows them to keep cohesive so that they have a plan and they feel united in the way they're leading scholars to be creative. Our scholars get an opportunity to go to each enrichment for 3 weeks at a time. So it's a really quick rotation, but it does allow them to be able to tap into what their interests are and, you know, get a little bit of this and that throughout the year. And then the other piece is just continue to highlight art. So in our building, 2 ways we specifically highlight art is one, each of our homerooms is named after an artist. So all of our kindergarten homerooms, there's 4 of them, are named after a visual artist. So there's Basquiat, Kehinde Wiley, Harriet Powers, and then Youngay, which is the local artist out here in murals out here in Atlanta. So even in the way that they learn about their pride in their homeroom is based off of an artist. The other thing is you'll see a lot of art in our building. There's art in every classroom hanging on the walls. We also have our front hallway with art hanging up as scholars pass it. And then every teacher space and office has art hanging on the wall as well.
So it's kind of that like immersive idea where you're surrounded in it. It's all around you. So you kind of can't help but just see it and feel like you're a part of it too.
Yeah, exactly.
I also just love the homerooms, the names of artists. That's super cool. And just that reminder that this is part of our culture. This is what we're doing, you know, in our school to cultivate that creativity. I love it. Yeah.
And then it's just like looping parents in as much as possible. The art team being really clear about what they're working on. And then also just scholars having the time to be artistic in the regular content block, even away from the enrichment class. So like all art doesn't just live in the art class, to make sure that they feel that that's protected space.
Nice. I love it. Just got his beautiful head left.
Yeah, last piece.
I'll let you finish that, but I'm also going to ask you about the transition from the classroom to kind of the admin side of things.
Yeah.
Because I can only imagine that's a little bit of a different world for sure. What was that like for you?
Yeah, so so I was in the classroom. So I had a different path in the classroom. I started off in secondary education, so in teaching literacy. I was an 8th grade English teacher for 3 years before then transitioning to elementary school. And in the meantime, I helped different training institutes for Teach for America over the summer. So while I was teaching, I did 5 summers straight of working for Teach for America Summer Institutes, where I coached teachers for 3 years And then I spent 2 years as a school director where I led a summer program and led the summer training. So those experiences helped me understand just what to do as a leader, how to support teachers, how to coach teachers, how to become a content expert. Those things helped me for the role I'm in now. I then spent different years as grade level team lead when I was a teacher. And then from there, I spent how many years? 5 years as an assistant principal, coaching teachers, leading grade levels, supporting them that way, helping them go through data meetings and content internalization. And then this is my second year as the principal.
Nice. So it's kind of like it was a sort of slowish process to at least be like easing into, you know, finding that helpful and finding it sort of something that you knew that teachers needed support in for sure.
Yeah, and then I love teaching. So teaching is something I still do. Anytime I can, I jump in and try to like model a lesson or just support teachers by doing like a quick piece, and also just to make sure I still got it right. Just make sure I can still do what I'm preaching to teachers, to make sure that the skills that I have stay fresh, but also that I'm modeling the type of expertise and excellence that we just expect in classrooms. And our teachers do a wonderful job.
I love it. I think that's important too, is just to remember that you're not really out of the classroom. You're still sort of part of it. You're just always present. All right, Shamar, can you show us your, I know you're not done because you're like probably wanting to feel like you got to keep adding to it, but I'd love to see how where you're at so far.
Yeah, so this is mixed media, Shane. I would definitely go in and add some more texture to him to get him going, to get the dance moves. But I wanted to just give him a different flair, make sure his shoes still had that character with the laces, and then you'll see it in his jersey. And I'll go back and I'll add more details to his jersey and his look there. But you know,
it's so fun. I love the mixed media too, with the paper and the coloring and the outlining and everything too. It was super fun to create.
Yeah.
Do you want to pop back on to show us your lovely face and tell us where people can follow along for your future adventures?
Yes. Let me go ahead and switch.
It's a smooth transition. And again, if y'all created with us today, feel free to share, at least tag Shamar so he can see what you created, tag the Art of Ed so we can check it out as well, especially since if you do share, you'll win a chance to win one of our amazing, beautiful holographic Art of Ed stickers. So where can people follow you to like find your future adventures and be kind of keeping up in the know about the book?
Yep. So you can follow me. You'll see Aaliyah in here as well. They made a comment. So follow me here at Shamar Knight-Justice. My Twitter is @Knight-Justice. I'm not as big on Twitter, but if you follow Instagram, you'll be able to see everything. And then on my website, you'll see up-to-date pieces at shamarknightjustice.com. I would definitely follow Aaliyah. You'll see her name there. So Aaliyah G.O. is her name. You'll be able to see Big Tune project, but also upcoming books that she has. For me, upcoming work happening. So it was just announced last week that the third book I have coming out is with Jasmine Simon and Dule Hill, called Repeat After Me. It's a really, really fun book about just positive affirmations to give the children to continue to build them up and show them that you love. And it's a book that you can say to kids daily, right? And be able to read it to them, have them really believe those words that are coming from them.
I love it. And that's something that everybody needs. And that affirmation is something that I think is going to just be, it should always be in the forefront, hopefully, is trying to build that positivity and give our students something to make them feel successful. Sweet. Shamar, thank you so much for joining us. After this, I'm going to be sharing a few things in the Art of Ed story. So if y'all have any questions, feel free to shoot them our way or send and tag some to Shamar so we can see what y'all created. Otherwise, we will see you next week, Monday, for another Make Art With Me. Shamar, have an amazing, amazing Monday, and I cannot wait to get the book.
I'm so excited for it to be in your hands as well. Thank you for having me. Really appreciated you just hosting this and then just having fun bringing Shane to life.
Absolutely. I'm super psyched about him. It's going to be super fun.
All right.
Thanks, Shane. Have a good night. Or thanks, Shamar. Have a good night, y'all.
All right. Bye.
Bye.